Yo, yo, my sovereigns, what up? This is Boba Fett, uncensored on the internet, with episode 56 of Splinterlands 101. Joining us once again, co-hosts of the show, finest gentleman who ever lived, Matt Clark.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Here's Matt Clark. He's one of the finest gentlemen that ever lived.
Geo of the Geotrix, Geo.
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy. Howdy,
Howdy ho. Howdy ho.
And joining us tonight, our guest on the show, we have Choonie, who was introduced to us from the People's Guild. So thanks to Bjangles and Waskly Wabbit. So Choonie, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks so much. Really grateful for the opportunity to talk with you guys. Appreciate it very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we generally find out how did you get here? Some people have come from crypto background, some people have come from a card gaming background, but how did you arrive in the Splinterlands, Ginny?
Right. Okay, well, it's a little bit of a story. Probably hear that too quite a bit, but I would say I started off from a perspective coin collecting. So was a coin collector for many years, and so just going about things and have a computer background also, but just came across Bitcoin one day, and what is this digital coin, and started learning about it. Like I said, I have, among other things, I have a computer background, so I was reflecting on that part of it. But so I was collecting coins, and once I learned about Bitcoin, what it was, I said, oh, this would be neat. So I literally got a hold of some Bitcoin miners, some small ones. I think they're called butterfly miners, if I remember correctly. They have they're black, and they have almost, it looks like I think the symbol looks a little bit like infinity on them. But I mean, this goes years back, so probably around 2013 or so. And so figured out how to build put together a computer, which literally was laying a motherboard on the floor of my basement, all these components, and plugging in the Bitcoin miners, and figured out how to tap into how to mine at that time. And at that time it was, I think the exchange I was using was cex.io. I think it was around that time. It goes back so far, but so long story short, started mining Bitcoin literally back in the day when it was, maybe it was $300, $600. And eventually found a coin collector that I was dealing with that I talked into, that was willing to trade my digital coins. He was interested in it for American Silver Eagles, which is what I that was where I focused my collection at that time. And so I was literally, we set up a wallet. I was mining Bitcoin, and I was trading him coins for Bitcoins for Silver Eagles. And I thought, this is the craziest thing. This is literally digital alchemy. It was just taking ones and O's and turning it into silver. And so I thought I was, I really got a kick out of it. Of course, now I look at the pile of American Eagles as, maybe whatever it is, and think, God, I must have paid, I don't know, $300,000 for those. So it was a really bad trade. But
who knew at the time, though? Who knew?
Yeah, right. So just continued on and got deeper into it with Bitcoin, and started eventually mining Litecoins with ASIC miners and things like that when Litecoin was at $3, and again, just trading things like that, and doing the digital alchemy thing. And so it just years went by. I was always amazed at how it was developing. It was up and down. It was a rough ride. I mean, nobody took it serious. And so I have a capital markets background too. So I used to go into the trading floors, and where I sat and talked to everybody, and they'd laugh about it. It was like speaking another language, literally. And so as time went on, though, and more recently, I eventually, a partner of mine, he's a phenomenal Python programmer, and then I know how to, I know markets pretty well. And so, long story short, it got to where you're mining, and of course, eventually, I mean, I tried to do it like everybody else. I mean, I had 5 or 6 going, maybe 10 in the basement, and no exaggeration, the heat from those was so much that during the winter, the downstairs, I was in the basement, was literally heating. It was heating the house. But then you get to that point, especially I think when you're a small time miner, and the kilowatt hours kill you. So it was, where I'm at, it got to, I don't know, and it changes throughout the year, but especially in the summer, it's over 20 cents per kilowatt hour, and so you just couldn't do it profitably as the hash rate went up and things like that. So I said, well, let's keep going. So figured out a way to mine Bitcoin without all the equipment, without all the electric stuff, by not structuring. You can structure trades with that stuff. I mean, when you go out 8 decimal points, there's so much residual sitting around, even from a digital perspective. And next thing you know, I mean, we got I guess you call it a bot, using the language from the game, and started running that. And I don't know, that one year we had it going, we probably did over 38,000 transactions and just banging them out, and you can get residual. So we were mining Bitcoin off the exchanges, and so that, that we did that for a while. But then I guess getting to the game itself. So always, of course, computer background. I mean, game player from day one. I mean, I'm an old guy actually. I actually bought one of the first Ataris from Sears and Roebuck. I mean, that's how long I've been playing video games. Literally playing Pong. And although I grew up with Pac-Man and the whole thing, and I had the record in Frogger, in the game rooms and all those things. So I just, as of course, as all these industries go and all these altcoins and stuff like that, once I forget how exactly I came across crypto, playing to earn, but just you know how the cryptocurrency goes. You start hearing all kinds of things, and I came upon some videos. I think it was Bulldog and Infidel 1258, Dwayne Cunningham. I saw the game, and I think it just, where I gravitated to it to some degree was it was a collecting. It was, I think that's one of the intangibles. I mean, the game brings a lot of intangibles, and so collecting, it had a collecting feel to it. And then of course income. I know you can make income, because we did it. I mean, we were making Bitcoin. I mean, we were the Bitcoin we were mining, we were selling at times. So I said, oh gosh, this is a dream. I mean, maybe I can quit my day job. So just got, and it looked like the most established platform. And so I did some due diligence, and I found DApp Radar, and I saw how many players were in the game and things like that. And so to me, it was in knowing the network effect, knowing really, I mean, all these chains are really networks when you get down to it. I mean, I'm like I said, I was been in with this computer stuff. I remember when the internet started, with Yahoo and Netscape and all those things. So, and then just knowing where I specialized too was computer networking. I know what it's Metcalfe's law for sure. It's adoption, and so in my opinion, a lot of these networks, they're peer-to-peer. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Napster, but Napster. Okay, well, I tell you, Bitcoin's Napster. It's just back in the day, and I still remember the first song I downloaded off that. And that's all. It's all peer-to-peer networking. I think Bitcoin, these exchanges have a feel of that. It's peer-to-peer networking. So anyway, just back to the game itself. I really gravitated to it. I started watching the videos, and I just bought in. I bought in probably November 2021, so pretty much at the top. And but it's just one of those things. It just I was determined to play, and again, seeing how many users there were. I mean, it's number one. It was number one on DApp Radar. I think it still is today. And started playing, and then went down the rabbit hole. I mean, to me, it's amazing how many angles, how many things you can do in Splinterlands. I mean, you can find your own niche. It could be anything. I mean, you can trade the cards. Hell, you can trade DEC. And with my capital markets background, I've been in it for over 30 years. It's total DeFi. It's a total digital capital markets as far as I'm concerned. And so that was it. And then I bought in at a level. So I wanted to have a very high level silver deck. And that's about why I have a strategy where instead of, I think some of the best advice I ever got one time from a career perspective is most of the time it's better to go sideways, not up. and you build your toolkit. And so what I've been doing is I like the silver level. I find it pretty challenging because it's basic, yet it's got, well, I mean, you guys know, it's silver, but what I tend to do is I go sideways. I try and get every ability in my silver deck, whatever it takes, just buy those cards.
Yeah.
So I just, the other day when Aggies announced, okay, reward cards are going away. Boy, that felt like such a change, and just felt like back getting some momentum. And and I just plunged in. I was sitting back on some of the Rift Watcher cards, but that the uniqueness about that set is there's so many abilities. So just went in and bought one of each card, everything, except the summers. But going sideways is, it's like, that's the thing about the game. You can do any strategy. So long story short, I mean, that's how I got here. That's how I got to my silver deck. And it all started way back when collecting coins, Bitcoin, the whole thing. So anyway, so hopefully that's really my story, how I got here.
All right.
Nice. Yeah, digital scarcity, I think it takes a lot of people a long time to wrap their heads around. So the fact that you were mining Bitcoin so early, I think it demonstrates that you were across the fact that digital scarcity did make sense to you earlier than it did to others. I was around then too, but I was just buying them. I wasn't mining. And I remember I bought a carton of cigarettes for my father-in-law, and it only cost me half a Bitcoin, which at the time was about $40, and it was like $200 worth of cigarettes. I was like, well, that's a no-brainer. This is fantastic. Look how clever I am. And obviously since then, especially when Bitcoin was 70 grand, I was like, wow, that's $35,000 for that carton of cigarettes. And he didn't even like it, So it's, it is funny to look back at some of the pricing, and like you say, the things that you bought, those Eagle coins that you were sort of and now, and I tell that there are guys out there who even before us, 2010, they got in, and then they mined them, and then when Bitcoin was worth $2, they went and dropped 10,000 of them to buy a secondhand car, and they got this secondhand $20,000 car. And they hate it now because they crunch the numbers and go, this car cost me $150 million because, and I hate it. It's funny to use that, to go back and revisit revisit some of the pricing and think, yeah, what was I thinking? But my son asked me earlier today about, why are Splinterlands cards valuable, and how can you expect that they're going to stay valuable, and asking some of those questions. He's 12. And I looked it up, and insurance.com sold for $38.5 million, the URL. And I think, well, if you can explain to somebody, hey, this URL sold for millions and millions of dollars, do you understand now that something that's scarce on the internet can be valuable? Because if you can wrap your head around that, you can appreciate that, okay, one of only 150,000 armor smiths is going to be worth whatever. It might not be $35 million. It might only be $1,000, but you bought it for 3 cents. Well, that's a win, right?
Oh yeah. Well, and like you said, it's uniqueness, it's scarcity. I mean, I wish I would have had the wherewithal back into buying those domain names. Think of the people who thought, I'm going to buy Coke.com. I'm going to buy GM.com. Just the wherewithal and all that, or just to be able to think ahead. So
we're basically cyber squatting. We're cyber squatting on cards that other people are going to want at some point, and they're going to have to rent them off us.
Right, yeah. And that's another thing. Just the renting, the whole concept there of being able to do that. There's so many things you can do in the game. So and it's just the intangibles that come with it all. I think what people don't do enough of is value that. The distractions, the things that it gives you that again, they're just intangibles. And it's so much better playing that than going into all that stuff about it keeps you out of politics, it keeps you out of the crazy news, it keeps you all out of all that stuff, which we all know what that's about, generally speaking. And I mean, it's, in my opinion, it's much better to be playing Splinterlands than to be involved in that, because that's bad for your chi, in my opinion. All that stuff's bad in the end. It's not there to help you. It's there to influence you. Splinterlands isn't that. You're just in there and you're applying your skill. And I feel like I've tried so many things throughout my life. I mean, I played poker back in the day when poker came online. I played it nonstop. I said, "Oh, I'm gonna quit my day job here." Maybe that's the common theme, and I'm gonna play poker for a living. And so did that for a long time. It got to the point where I actually played on the poker tour for a couple of times. Not at a level like Gank or anything, but
Sweet.
yet again, it's a card game and it's so intricate. And there's a lot of that kind of stuff. It starts off, it looks very basic, and then it's just so intricate. And that shows you too. It's that idea that keep it simple, stupid type of thing. It's the best like the clothespin. The best inventions are those simple things that you can do so many things with. And so so that was another. To me, it's analogous at times to poker, feeling like playing poker. And I'd love to see the game one day. To me, one of the things I look forward to be great if one day we got sit and go tournaments where they're selling out every 10 minutes or every 5 minutes, like they do on these poker sites. You go on, you're waiting to join a table with 9 people on it, and in 5 minutes you got a game. I mean, wouldn't that be such great traction where you get the platform where they're putting out these sit and goes and they're going down one after another. And just steady revenue. So anyway,
Absolutely.
so more to it, another way to look at it.
Yeah. When you talking before, like spending Bitcoin earlier on and then looking back with hindsight at what it's done, I'm going through this at the moment. Like every time I buy a wristwatches pack with my SPS, I mean, at the peak of the bull run, SPS was $1. And so I'm thinking like, 200 SPS for a wristwatches pack. I'm thinking that's like, am I paying $200 for a pack of cards here? And I have this dilemma each time.
Yeah. Well, you can't beat yourself up, because I mean, we talk about, oh, well, I look back and I spent, thousands of dollars for this Silver Eagle, but even before this, there's those, when I remember when Microsoft came public, and then there's people you talk about, oh, well, what if you bought Microsoft, you put 10,000 in when it first went public, today you'd be worth $100 million, whatever the crazy number is. But the truth be told is no, pretty much there's probably no one that did that, because you buy in as life goes on. Okay, next thing you know, you need a house. Oh, I got this Microsoft stuff, let me sell it. Oh, I need a car. Oh, the kids need college, all those things. So I guess coming into Bitcoin, it doesn't bother me so much, because being in capital markets and stuff, there's thousands, there's millions of those stories of people who bought Cisco back in the day when it was, I mean, all these, Netscape, bought Amazon. There's very few. I don't know if there's anybody really, truth be told, if everybody just tells the truth, who have their original investment, who just sat there and kept it. And so same thing with Bitcoin. I mean, and $600 Bitcoin, no one. I mean, I wasn't thinking, oh, this is going to be worth like you said, Matt, have a $70,000 handle on it. I mean, never. And anybody who says that, I mean, you have to be skeptical. But but yeah, again, I mean, that's the beauty of the blockchain, and we're still off and on, still mining that stuff and everything, and whatever, but it'll persevere.
So with your, go on, Matt.
I was just going to say, I think those early stories of the guy who bought the Silver Eagles and the guy who bought the car and the cigarettes, had we all just sat on the Bitcoin, it wouldn't have done what it did, right? We needed to use it to transact. It needed to be, if everyone's sitting on it and no one's spending it, then it's not a currency. So there's an element there that says, well, we did our bit. Still stings, and I'm sure the price would have been the same had I not bought that carton of cigarettes. But it's still, I think, the fact that we were willing to do that, to buy the pizzas, to buy the secondhand cars, I feel like that made Bitcoin what it is. So that's how I sleep at night.
Right. Yeah. So, but it's life in general. You can look back and how many times you wish you would have zigged when you zagged, So, yeah.
Yeah.
So with your silver deck, do you play like do you do your daily focus and And how do you do with your end of season in the leagues?
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, of course, play every day. What I've done, so since I got into the game, and again, this is just another great aspect of the game. It's deep, and what I've done now at this point, I've bifurcated it. So you hear all the talk about the bots and things like that, and I think what's curious, I don't know if a lot of people do. I mean, well, probably a lot of people do, but it's the game is a DeFi platform. It's a collecting of cards. It's a skills game, and so I mean, I've been through the ups and downs, like, oh my gosh, there's just so many bots in the game and all these kind of things. But where I'm going with it is to answer your question. I mean, yes, every day I do the daily focus. And to me, that's yield farm. That's just the way I put it. I wrap it around my head. It's yield farming, and because definitely messed around with those platforms and all those different things going on with Curve and all those other ones. But and so I do, and I use Splintermate. Frankly, I use a bot because it's a very routine, it's a very rote thing at times with the lineups, and so I do that. And I mean, there's one thing in my it's one thing. Actually, here's an intangible. It's something else me and my wife do together, because believe it or not, I open those chests every day with my wife. I call my wife. My wife opens the chest, so it's again an intangible. It's just when I don't know if that moment every day I'd have this this 10 minutes with my wife or some time that we set aside. But when you think about it, that's what we do. We take time to open the chest. So yeah, I do the focuses and open the chest every day at a silver level. But with the silver deck, and I know when they made some changes, one of the things I really like what they did is, as long as you got max silver cards, you don't pay a penalty playing in gold. So you get all the rewards in gold. So work your way into gold and do that stuff. I mean, I'm very busy at times in my job, so I don't have time to do that every day. So I'm thankful for the bots with that. I love it. I was using a free bot. I think it was called the Splinterlands bot or something. It was Jones.
Jones
getting the code off of GitHub and things like that. So but that's where I do my daily focus, and then I play tournaments. I sign up for all the tournaments. What I do with there is I sign up for every tournament at the beginning of the season that come up, that the silver ones in particular, because once you move into gold, then they charge you those higher fees, and so you got to get in. So I play all the tournaments, and that's where it's the skill. I don't use a bot at all. I really enjoy thinking about it, and frankly I find it very challenging. I just find and what's amazing to me is, one day you can, I don't know, you can go, you can do 60-70% success rate. The next day you're at 20. It's like, what's different there? And so, yet again, another challenge, but yeah, I play all the tournaments, and as many as I can, all the way up through gold. And what I've learned with that too is, at some point though, to really crack that top, you do need the power. You need the cards. You absolutely need the cards. I mean, it's both cards and skill, but you got to invest, or you got to step up if you're going to really compete. Even at silver, I mean, how many times, no matter what, in the second round of a tournament, here comes Kitty, here comes Yoden. As soon as that comes up and you don't have it, it's the outcome. But yeah, I play it every day. I mean, it's my routine now. And frankly, I'd miss it. I'd miss it if it wasn't here. Is the answer. And then one of the things I wanted to do was start my own tournaments, which again, another thing you can do in Splinterlands. Who would have thought? And it brings out what I enjoy at times, just being creative and laughing at some of the things you come up with. But and so I set those up, and the one thing I will say is I think it's important that there's not bots in tournaments, and so really part of the impetus for me doing what I do with the Discord is the only rules in our private tournaments is no use of bots. No use of bots, and don't share the password with anybody, because you're in here and you pay, you got your skin in the game, you earned your way in. So and when all that stuff started coming out about there's bots in tournaments too, that messed with my, I guess I'll say messed with my chi. I had everything bifurcated, perfectly laid out, like you try and do with life, which you never really can do, frankly. And so okay, I got yield farming. I'm gonna yield farm, and then but I'm using my skills in these tournaments, man. I'm going against people, and then you're like, oh, and you start reading map chat. You're like, what? There's bots in tournaments too. So I just said, damn it, I'm gonna create something where there's no bots in tournaments. And so went down the path here, what I'm trying to do with this Discord. But anyway, so probably more than you asked, Boba Fett. I apologize for that.
No.
Oh, good.
If you want
good.
change, you got to be it. You got to take it.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about how your tournaments work, like the layout. How do people get involved?
Oh, sure.
what's the
Okay.
laydown?
Sure. So what we do is we have a it started off with a Discord, a community, and trying to I guess I don't know how to put it. Like I said, have a safe space for no bot tournaments. But anyway, so what I do is I do public tournaments, as I call them. Everything's free, literally. So it costs you 1 SPS is what I do. But then you get the SPS back. And then, but if you finish at a certain, however we designed the tournament, whether you're a top 10 or, maybe we award the couple who come in 30th or whatever, but do a public tournament. And what you earn by doing that in that tournament is an NFT. And these NFTs, try to be as creative based on the theme of the tournament. And so if you win an NFT in the public tournament, then you get access to the Discord and the community. And the community then is, what I've worked on is so for instance, reaching out to major names in the game, like all of you guys, like, everybody knows who Matt Clark is. Everybody knows who, Geotrix is. Everybody knows who Boba Fett is. And saying, okay, well, asking guys like you to come in and so as opposed to saying play a tournament to earn an NFT, asking you to sponsor one. And the whole idea with the Discord is to have some skin in the game. And so, for instance, whenever somebody, sponsors a tournament, so, it's been everybody. At this point, it's Gank, it's Aftersound, it's you guys, it's People's Guild. And the skin in the game for you would be, you're taking a chance on me to not embarrass you, I guess is the way to put it. That's a risk. That's a total risk. And so
I do that every week, just coming on the show with that.
Yeah. Don't worry. We have that covered.
As long as you do it to yourselves, right? So anyway, and so what I do then, but the whole idea is to be in the Discord, you got to have an NFT. So, we talked about, so if you sponsor a tournament, then I do my best to come up with a theme, something unique to give you guys an NFT. And once you have that, you're in the Discord. And then if I'm doing everything right, when you look at the members of the Discord, you're going to see all these names, and you're going to see nothing but passion. And by passion, I mean you're going to see, hopefully, the main content creators, the main names in the game, the people everybody knows these names, and so you look over there, and then as a player, which again, it's free public, you get you get an NFT. When you're in the Discord, you're there now, whether there's interaction or not, but at least you're in a spot, and just I know it sounds crazy, but the passion for the game just jumps out at you when you look at our list of members. And so then we play private tournaments, and then hopefully the utility there for everybody is so like Darkest Night, he sponsored the Grinch. We did a Grinch one, and Tales from the Cryptmancer. So I did a turkey leg. I don't know if you guys are American football fans, but John Madden used to always do this thing back in the day. If you had a good day on Thanksgiving football, you won a turkey leg. So I did a turkey leg, and you got a turkey leg NFT if you want it, But it's what's neat about it. I don't know if there's anybody else. And then last tournament we had I'm gonna mispronounce some of the names, but Shampoon and Weiwei, they he won, they won, so now they're in. And I don't know if anybody else, but somebody like me, okay, so if I see a name come, like say like Darkest Night, right, I watch him, I see the passion he has for the game, I just see it when he's interacting with Aftersound. His face is lit up, he's like, and as much as they're talking, he'll clap his hands, go, let's play, let's do a match, And so So, but I'm not going to mail it in on that. So, you know, so the private tournaments, then what happens is we have a private tournament and we have a presidential cup. And what it is the idea is and I only do one of those typically a season. And so, you know, typically we have about 30, getting all close to 40 members on the Discord, but, you know, set one up for about 15 to 20 players. I just put one up yesterday. It's in the private tournaments if anybody wants to go look and see it. But in that case, you win just a presidential cup. You win one unique NFT. And, you know, thinking in terms of scarcity, as we talked about earlier, there's only 3 of those. Okay. But when you see names like Darkest Night come up, because I like to play tournaments, I'm not going to mail it in. I'm going to do my best and like Queen Sylvia's in there. And I mean, just the names that are coming in, I'm going to do my best to play my best. I'm not, you know, and so, so that's, you know, that's what I think one of the things you'll get. If you're you're always going to be playing against somebody like Gank's name pops up. People are going to try, guarantee it, you know, Walking Keys, you know, so, and you, Boba Fett, when you come in, you know, if you're in the tournament, people, you know, they're going to be, I got to beat them. And so,
That won't be hard.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. You know, as a matter of fact, I will say this. I have the intrinsic value to me is you're earning it. And so even I didn't play any of the private tournaments because I hadn't won an NFT in the public tournaments. And I finally won one because Stever82, we did a New Year's theme one where I did champagne bottles that were basically painted by the old class, you know, like Da Vinci, and one painted by Monet. You know, this is stuff you can do with the AI. But I finally won one. And I'm sitting here, I'm laughing at myself because I'm like, damn it, I won an NFT fund. And now I can play in the presidential cup, you know, in the private one. So anyway, and then the idea is once we get, say, 10 presidential cup NFTs, we'll do a tournament of champions. And then there'll just be one of those. And maybe we have one tournament of champions a year or 2 a year. And then those NFTs are even more unique. And the things you can think about as this goes deeper, but I hopefully one day we get to where in the future where, you know, maybe, you know, somebody's making 25 grand a year, you know, playing Splinterlands, and they're bragging, yeah, I make 25 grand a year, you know, Splinterlands, SBS is at $1, the whole story. But wouldn't it be neat if somebody taps them on the shoulder and whispers in their ear, but do you have a presidential cup? And then that person like stops for a second, like goes, oh, you know, and it hits them. And then the person who says, did you have a presidential cup? Somebody taps them on the shoulder, but do you have a Tournament of Champions presidential cup? You know, and it's just the neat, you know, just the uniqueness of it all. So, and again, it's just for fun. It's just for passion.
Yeah.
I went down this path.
Bragging rights.
I enjoy it. Yeah, bragging rights. But you know, there's so much utility in that for certain people that are competitive, that are collectors, if you know, and all those kind of things. So anyway, hopefully that answers the question.
I don't have a presidential cup or any way to prove this or denote this, but I beat Jacek twice in the same tournament, and I bring this up pretty much every show. If I had a little badge that said beat Jacek twice in the same tournament, then that would be front and center. Pretty much everywhere.
Well, you know what, Matt, I tell you what, you know, these things, so, you know, before you send the NFT out, you know, I do it on OpenSea, but it's so dynamic. So what could happen literally is, so you can put you can do the title, but there's also a section for description. You could put that in if you said, you know, maybe it's like engraving a trophy. It's like, okay. And if you said, hey, can you put down, I beat Jacek twice? Yeah, we'll do that. I mean, you know, the sky's the limit, and it becomes your unique thing. So yeah, you know, there's a lot you can do with those things.
Yeah, agreed. And obviously, yes, Jacek would have the I beat Matt Clark 412 times. We're not going to talk about that though.
Yeah. That's I beat Choonie every time.
Yeah.
Nah.
So one thing you mentioned was interesting, Choonie, like, you know, back, you know, the first Atari and stuff. Like I was on my first computer was a 486 DX66 dial-up internet. So, and I remember Napster and all that. Merc and GeoCities. And you know, now here we walk around with this supercomputer in our pockets. And like my phone, I keep getting these notifications on my phone, like, oh, you've used your phone 6 minutes more this month than you did last month. And I remember the first time Google Maps sent me my history for the month, like showed me everything. I was like, man, do I like, I want this stuff. So no, the AI behind that is just driving that. So I'd be interested to hear your views on AI and like where you think it's at, Choonie.
Sure. So, well, what I would say is it's beneficial, and then in some ways it's intrusive. The benefits part. So everybody talks about these things at times, but if you notice too, sometimes you'll having a conversation with a friend, and maybe you text something about the topic or whatever. Well, literally, I've seen patterns and noticed things where, okay, all of a sudden I'm getting stuff in my YouTube feed of videos that come up, and you can see the logic behind it. I texted somebody who has, say, an Android phone from an Apple phone about the topic, and yeah, they must be, bringing all that data together too. Part of me, you don't like it because you're like, gosh, you're being spied upon. I mean, nobody looks. I mean, I think that's what brings a lot of us to the crypt, the blockchain ultimately is getting away from some of those things, but and trying to have that, having that idea that you can literally step out. I mean, a move into Bitcoin the way it is a step out of the system in a way. But anyway, so with the AI, so it feels intrusive, but then again, part of it though is they're putting things in front of me that I'm interested in also. So that's good.
Actually, I've
think
got
we're
a really good live example, and Gio knows this one. I was talking to a friend of ours, Matt. He's a guitarist. We're having a conversation one day, and we started talking about the Georgia Guidestones. And this is like 6-7 years ago or something, maybe more. Actually, would have been maybe close to 8 years ago. And he'd never heard of them before. It's like, wow, we were talking about this for about 10-15 minutes. And then, as people have the habit, now he just picked up his phone off the coffee table, checked his Facebook. Right at the top of his feed, there was an article on the Georgia Guidestones. So they're listening.
Yeah, and however they're doing. And by the way, those were vandalized recently. I think sometime last year. I don't know if they were they were vandalized. You can look up an article on that stuff.
I saw the video.
So there you go. But again, I guess it's bittersweet. I think where it's going is there's a recent article too about how Microsoft just went in heavy into the chat bot. And when you really listen into it and you read into in depth, it seems like the biggest concern, say, to a Google, is that it's a different way to search for information. And I guess because it's more interactive, you can ask it questions, whatever you do, which theoretically you can do now on iPhone. Hey Siri, what's the burger joint closest to me? But I think that's probably one of the bigger implications that people aren't thinking about. And then there's also other videos about the AI and how even though you're asking it things, you think it's open. It's not really open. The owners, and who knows, one day this is probably going to be a great, if it ever goes public. I'm sure the firms are in there beating down the door. You guys got to go public, because they're probably thinking of back into the days of Netscape and all those wars. But what they said in that article is that it is set up so it doesn't let you search on certain things. It doesn't provide feedback on certain things, and I'm paraphrasing, but it's really not. It's still let's just use the same term. It's still centralized. And so I think when you use it and when you think of those things, you got to realize, there's still somebody in the background, whoever it is or whatever company that's, probably for some litigious reasons, who knows, but the information that's coming back is still categorized, or however you want to put it. So it's so you can't just ask it anything. I guess if you want to do that, you got to create your own. But overall, I mean, how can it hurt? Even what I do, I mean, it's going to change the way, like just to say these NFTs or whatever. I had a buddy of mine sent me something last night. I mean, he's like, look, I'm writing a comic book, and he's going on to these, like the Mid-Journey that frankly I use, and it's putting in images, coming up with stuff. and then whatever it comes up with, and you can do all kinds of themes. I think he's doing a Kafka theme. You guys know who he is. And so what it is you have your own department of illustrating department. And so like in working with the, those guys from People's Go, it was so much fun working with them. But it's that idea of, hey, what would a rabbit look like with I don't know, with wearing, holding a sword? What would a rabbit look like in a Bruce Lee 1970s Bruce Lee yellow jumpsuit? And so instead of sitting, if you think about that, instead of coming to someone like me, or if I was an illustrator, you'd have to sit there and think about it for a while, and then you'd have to draw it. And what this does in particular, this particular AI and all these things that make images, you have something now that you can type in a matter of minutes or less, and just start prompting it, as they call it, and getting ideas. And so think what that's doing for you. You have your own illustration department now. And so it's allowing you to propagate and do what you do, and not worry about, if you can't draw, that, so what at this point, really, so what? And now, of course, the negative side of that is, what about all the illustrators out there? And you see a lot of that. There's so right now, all these, or not to say all of them, but some of the bigger names, they're being sued. They're being sued for copyright infringement. So all that's going to work itself out. But just, the things I've read so far about AI. So, when you go back, you look at one of the most fastly adopted things was the internet. Okay. So the public dissemination of computer networking, that's what it was. DARPA had it, but it got into the public's hands. And then you got to, what's the next thing? Well, the next fastest thing, because of the internet, was cryptocurrency, was blockchain. That was adopted at a record rate. Now AI is exponentially faster than even the blockchain in adoption. So irrespective of what any of us think about it, it's coming at us at warp speed, and it's here. The genie's out of the bottle. So we're gonna have to learn to live with it. And I guess what I'd say, long as sum it all up, is I think it's important not to be completely negative about it. It's who knows how it's going to change things. We'll see.
Yeah,
I think with AI, I keep being reminded of there's a saying, it's not the answer that wins the Nobel Prize, it's the question.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think AI gives us the execution, where you say, I wonder what it'd be like for a rabbit to hold a sword, and the AI will give you an image of that, but you were the one who thought, I wonder what it looks like when a rabbit's holding a sword. And so I kind of feel like that's where we're at the moment. AI is not in the position now to prompt itself, but when we give the prompts, then it can deliver the goods. And I kind of feel like we're still in that area where we're reigning supreme, because we're the ones issuing the prompts. But obviously that can change in time. So
yeah, and it's evolving so quick. I was reading an article last night that now, and this is how quick it's come. Article last night that said it can get it can pass the medical boards now, and it also I think it's the Chat GBT can also pass the test to become an attorney, be licensed. It's passing the legal boards. Again, it's an article, how true it is, but it's amazing.
Well, let's think about this, right? What do we know of you? Your words on the internet, words on Discord, and now you're a voice. But are you real? Mm-hmm. Even if we saw a video of you, we wouldn't know definitely for sure that you're actually real.
Well, that Chinese
because you may be an AI construct.
When they finally released, she's all CGI.
Exactly.
When they're top news presenters,
Yeah, exactly. And you think, well, in 5 years from now, I might have 100 followers on whatever, but are any of them actually real? I can have conversations with them, but is there anything there, or are they just a little switch in a motherboard somewhere that's or in a bank of servers? And my fear is that the people who want to control us are very much around the introduce a problem for the solution that you have ready, and away we go. And so I think Elon Musk has talked about defensive AI, where okay, once AI is out in the world, you're going to need your own AI to keep you safe. It's the new arms race.
A guardian angel.
That's why we need government
exactly.
to keep us safe from your
guardian angel.
And that's when it's like, so we're going to have to implant it in you. And then it's like, well, hang on, is this the only reason AI was developed? So that you can have an excuse to, you know, to plant something into my scalp and you know, and say it's definitely, otherwise you're at the whims and mercies of AI everywhere. You have no defenses against it. So yeah, we're going to find out.
We are pretty quickly, probably. Yeah.
We can hypothesize all we like, but it's going to happen. We're going to find out.
Well, and you talk about Twitter quickly, you know, he was, you know, of course he was concerned about all the bots there. Well, I think it was 2 years ago, there's a documentary on HBO on how to become famous. And a big premise in that documentary is they're on Twitter, you know, so how do you go about in public you know, on these platforms and become famous? And they're clearly buying accounts. They show you right there in that documentary how to do it. They're not even hiding the fact that they're doing it. Like, you know, somebody wants to move up the chain. Okay, let me get you, you know, and whoever was paying for it, it was one of those documents, an experiment, social experiment, but he's buying them 100,000 users with a credit card. And, you know, that was a few years ago. Now, you know, Twitter you know, they got the stuff where they screen them and eventually I guess they get rid of them. But yeah, I mean, just that's, you know, that's amazing. So like you said, it's not, you know, realities. It's not real. It's not real. So
it's like creating creation, and we don't know what this new creation is going to be. And you have a government and all these control mechanisms, which maybe that new creation won't give a shit about. And there's your open freedom, like whatever that can lead to, we don't know. We just don't know. That can of worms, man. It's something.
I think, yeah, it's always been out there, in my opinion. I mean, you know, Peter Gabriel has one of the best lines in the song. And whenever I think, was it liberty, she pirouette. Whenever I think I'm free, liberty, she pirouette. You know, and so it's always, you know, we've always been influenced, is what I'm trying to say. Just using the tools of the time. It's again, what are you gonna do? It's just the way it goes. So,
and it's just how we are. We just like to progress and push boundaries. That is nature. It's like we're moving towards like a singularity. You know, like this final point where just something's gonna happen and we just don't know what it is yet.
Right. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I think a few people talk about this. Terence McKenna, I forget what it is, like the transcendental point in time where something's just, it's just we're heading towards something.
Well, with the idea, I know we're going real down deep in this, but I think the idea is at some point in around 2040, well, I forget what you call it, the name right now, but the idea is the computers will be at a point where you can download your thoughts and your mind into it before you pass away. So you will virtually exist forever. And just think about that. I mean, to me, you know, and people say, oh gosh, that's bad. But I'm thinking, no, maybe that's a gift to my great grandkids. Mm-hmm. You know, if I get there, I mean, 17 years from now, I take the plunge, say, okay, download me. What's wrong with my great grandkids one day actually knowing me? Now, you know, of course it'll be it's not going to be me, but I get it. But there's good in that too somewhere. And
hey, the light bearer, right?
Except when it reaches the point where they download your consciousness without you realizing, you don't realize it, you're not actually alive anymore.
Oh yeah, well, now we're getting deep. Yeah, now we're Matrix.
Yeah. I find myself wondering if the oldest profession will be the last profession. You know, where they're actually having a flesh and blood woman in front of you, and underneath you is the last job that will be held by anybody that you know is a human being, because robotics is obviously tailing behind AI. So I don't know whether humanity would enjoy that as bookends, that the oldest profession is also the last profession. But I'm like, eventually everything else will be replaced, and there will just be would just be back to, okay, here's an actual flesh and blood human being in front of me.
But how would you even know that?
Well, yeah. How would you? You know,
Blade Runner.
Yeah. Well, being the game player I was last night, I'm literally starting to say, I want to get into these virtual reality games now. And I'm looking at those platforms and the stuff they have. I mean, it looks like Ready Player One. They actually have
Oh,
the
yeah.
treadmills now. They have
Oh,
all
yeah.
that stuff. So, and then there's a great show on Netflix, Dark Mirror, Black Mirror. I forget, but
Black
they do
Mirror,
all these.
yes.
Yeah. Well, there is an episode where there's I think it's two men, I forget, but one's a woman, one's a man, and and they're they have a relationship virtually, and it's all those conflicts that come up. So I don't know, man. I don't know if the last profession's safe either. I mean, you put on a suit, you put sensors wherever. I mean, who knows where that stuff will be? But
We are a ghost in a shell.
yeah, it's it asks a lot of questions. It's just it's not a bad time to be alive though. I
This
mean,
body
it's
sucks. It's weak. It's brittle. No, really, flesh and blood. It's no good.
well,
Only
if you
just
can
had
be
surgery
yeah.
on my shoulder recently. I can relate to that. We're
Yeah,
too
same
fragile.
problems.
Yeah.
Well, and that idea of wanting to live forever has been, the fountain of youth has been. I mean, DeSoto was going around Florida, looking for it. But look, even what Walt Disney did. What's the rumors there? Isn't he frozen or something or something?
Well,
Cryogenics.
the rumor is that they made the Frozen movies to make sure that when people Google Disney Frozen, they get the movie about Anna, and also not Disney's head is frozen. That they're
Wow.
sick of fielding off those, so they were like, well, let's just
Lord
so if you
Arianthus.
Google Disney Frozen head, you just get Disney Frozen. Always conspiracy theories, right?
They're
I mean,
very
I love
good
it.
with movies, making titles to throw you off on Google searches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we battle? Should we
Yes.
throw
Sure.
some battles around?
Why
Okay.
not? Well, why don't Gio and Matt? Why don't you guys go first?
Yeah,
So,
man. Sure. Silver League. Cool.
Whatever.
Yes,
Throw whatever at me.
Yeah.
Silver is unique. That's the way as you're doing this. The one thing I struggle with, and whoever hears this, I'd love for feedback. What's the right level to be inclusive? Because and still be challenging. And so some of the feedback I had on the silver tournaments is, especially the senior players, they say I don't like it. But I think what happens is silver. Silver's that entry point for everybody. You're going to go through silver. You're going to go up the game or whatever. And I think for some of the better players, they find it challenging because you step down and you don't have all the abilities.
Yeah.
And so what's neat about that entry point is it seems to provide a challenge for everybody. So that's why I stay at the silver level.
Yeah. So when you're picking your team lineup, and you pick a card, and it's not till the game plays out you realize the reason you picked that card in the first place. You don't have that reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's missing. Yeah. So it's I think it's a good entry point.
Yeah. So one of the best parts about this Choonie is like looking at the looks on their faces and their expressions while they're thinking, and
Okay.
because when you're battling someone elite, you don't normally get to see their face. It's just this is what the person at the other end's doing while they're picking their teams.
Right.
See, Matt's picked his. He's happy with what he's got already.
I'm not used to the lack of abilities, but I'm not going to use it as an excuse because I do have enough cards to choose from. So we'll see. We'll see.
I'm reassured by the fact that I don't need to field a good team. I just need to feel one good enough to beat Geo.
That is fair. That's
part of it. The trash talk is absolutely part of it.
Geo would spend more time in Silver League than you do, though.
Yeah,
although we've been finishing lately in Diamond. Geo convinced me to go over at the end of the season, so I'm finishing in Diamond, which means I start in Gold. So next season.
I can share screen.
All right.
Do you guys see that?
Oh, your resolution is way off.
You're only
you're only using up like a quarter of the screen. There we go. Yep.
How's that?
That's good.
Right.
It's just the rule set.
Yeah, right.
Cora. That's a go-to.
Yeah, Cora's an absolute boss. I'll pick her 9 times out of 10. Especially when everyone's expecting melee and ranged is getting reflected.
And you love your Rooney.
I love Rooney. Yeah, I'm really getting into Rooney because so often I get destroyed by somebody who's too fast, and my entire team goes and nobody hits anyone. And so Rooney is always going to hit, and I love that. I probably should have grabbed a kitty with that whole true strike deal going on, but yeah, Rooney just for that alone, that makes me happy because everyone else might miss, but Rooney's going to hit him. I might still lose, but I hit someone.
Well, in the
Sneaky
resurrection, you know, I actually was with Dwayne Cunningham, and I got him to coach me. You know, in the very beginning, I was paying him to coach me. I just remember how many times I said, "This is a game of attrition. This is a game of attrition," and you know, and that resurrection, it just knowing it's a game of attrition, just it's such a strong ability.
He resurrects with the armor, and the reason I put him at the back is that in a melee mayhem match, you're very often going to get thorns, and obviously he has blast shield, or reflection shield, so he's not going to take any damage from thorns. So I kind of put him up there as he's just going to keep hitting the entire match. He's just going to keep on hitting. So we'll see how it pans out. But
And Cora's always a good choice for melee mayhem because she's going to get it. You can put her anywhere, and she's still going to get 2 hits.
She's going to hit twice. Yeah. I am a bit worried about Jared Scar. I think he might ruin my day. But
we'll
there's
find
plenty
out.
of
We'll just play because I know we've got to get through with time.
Yeah.
So look, I'm just gonna play.
Do you want to any guess here on who's going to pull us off, Choonie?
Oh, Matt, I think.
Yeah, I think
I'm
so.
going to give it to Geo.
Okay.
I'm going to give it to Geo because I just think with this Thispa, I'm too slow. My stuff's too slow.
And you went range there with the backfire, not backfire, the return fire.
Hey!
Oh,
Wow.
there goes Cora.
Hey,
There's
Lamo!
Cora.
Yo!
Yeah.
There just wasn't enough speed there. I kept missing stuff.
Wow.
Good work, Geo.
Yeah.
you.
That was good. That was good. It's always good to see Matt going down. All right.
You'll keep.
All right. So I might jump in here and take Matt on while he's down. And
while he's on tilt.
and then it'll be your turn to flog him, Choonie.
Okay.
Bring
all
it.
right.
Was that the time? I really should head off, chaps. It's getting a bit late, so I'm just mucking around. I'm not scared of Bob. I'm scared of Geo, but I'm not scared of Bob.
No, for good reason.
Come at me, bro.
I haven't even played in a while, bro.
Coming at you, bro.
All right, so we got 36 mana. It's Stampede, so Endless Trample. And blue, green, and white are our possibilities.
Question is, who can share this one? Matt?
Ooh, I'm assuming Bob. I can't.
Matson's
Okay.
mobile, so I'll be sharing screen. Why's that?
I was just asking because, like, usually one of us can share screens, but like I said, with Matt, he can't because he's on his phone. So I guess Matt, you're gonna find out who's gonna probably win, but you might not have to, might not want to look at that.
All right, team is in.
I have also submitted. Hands free.
Oh wait, who's versing who? Choonie versing Matt, or is it?
No, it's
Bob
me and
versing-
Matt.
Oh,
Matt- Bob and I.
Matt and I.
then disregard everything that I said
Yeah,
about who's
I'll
gonna
work
share.
that out.
'Cause
But that
So
will
you're
be
saying
a
who's-
question
yeah.
for the next round. That will be a
Choonie and I is
question
a
for the next
problem.
round.
Choonie and I can't happen, and it's just you guys will take him on. You might run out of time.
Choonie, are you on
okay.
a mobile device or a laptop or?
I'm on a desktop, but I'm
Okay,
not-
Right.
so yeah, you'll be able to share screen then, because Matt's on his mobile, he can't share screen. So when
Okay,
you
yeah,
and
you'll
Matt
probably have to
battle,
talk
you can
me
do
through it.
Yeah.
You know
People
so
have
much,
to
but
do-
then you don't know so much.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Got the plunker down there. Smashing.
Oh, that lineup. It's just melee mayhem, like right here. And not even the rule set. I just mean, you
Yeah.
know,
It's going hard.
yeah.
Opportunity,
Mm.
opportunity.
Just
Yeah, I was hoping you'd be playing a sneak somewhere, so my shark could not just provide inspire, but also thorns. But you're not sneaking anywhere. So
No.
I'm gonna hit that fiend a couple of times, and then take out your goblin psychic, not physic, goblin
Yeah.
psychic. I do love
Yes.
the use of Deplunker though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really scared of Quora,
Yeah.
but she's
Yeah,
only
this
doing
is a good
magic
lineup,
damage
but
till she hit the front.
yeah, your speed is going to be my doubt getting through this. Cool.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna wreck you, Bob.
yeah. Yeah. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah. What do you think,
Though I
Choonie?
have
Yeah, I think that Gladius card with the trample is gonna. I think it's gonna get some bloodlust.
Yeah. All right, let's find
All right,
out.
let's see.
I have been wrong in the past many times. So we shall see.
Yeah, look at
the
that,
one
two,
thing-
two misses.
Yeah, the one thing I try and avoid with the Gladius cards is not play like a fiend because they get knocked out so quick and it gives the other team the bloodlust. So I always find myself with some residual mana.
Oh no.
Agreed.
I'm wrecked. Absolutely
Hey.
wrecked.
Matt might call that redemption.
It's dignity, Luann.
Indeed.
Dignity. My bad.
All right, so Choonie, what's your in-game name for Matt to send a challenge to?
It's Choonie.
Ah, okay.
I haven't. Where's the challenge? Here we go. Challenge to Choonie. You like silver, mate?
Yes, please.
Silver. And do you want gladiators?
Yeah, oh yeah, that'd be perfect. Mhm.
All right, let's do it. Sent.
And the key here with your share screen is not to share screen until both teams are submitted. Otherwise, Matt will be looking at you picking your cards.
Okay.
And down the bottom of your screen, there'll be a green button, share screen.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we have
So close all your
19
Pornhub
mana.
windows down and stuff like that as well.
Mhm.
pause your uploads. So we got 19 mana. The only splinter available is water, and the rule set is cripple.
Okay.
That's a Deplunker.
Gotta love the God bless the Deplunker
Oh God bless.
and all who ride her.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, you heard my wife in the background. It's not
Yeah.
the Deplunker. It's a great nickname for it, darling.
It is.
Own it,
It's,
wear it, love it.
yeah.
Oh,
It's always going to be Deplunker from now on. Always.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
it's a shtick.
Silver, almost,
This is new territory for Matt.
Yeah, all my abilities are gone. Gimped.
All my friends are dead.
Yeah.
They've been stripped away. I'm just imagining Choonie's face right now with the whole concentration thing going on.
Oh, I'm already in. I was.
Oh.
Ah.
This was. Yeah.
So much for
When-
concentration.
When I see cripple, I think I know what to do. So
Yeah.
silver, you leverage those abilities.
All right, we're good. We had 33 seconds left.
All right.
I'm
Okay.
submitted.
Okay, let me share my screen. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I went for speed, and I when I was crippled, I'm like, make everybody cripple as fast as you can.
Mhm.
So let's see. So just I just hit the rumble, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm going to win, but I always think I'm going to win.
Oh, you got
Let's
that
see.
legendary, Matt.
Yeah, but I see what you're talking about there, Choonie, where you don't play random little, fiend cards and the like because you're just giving them free bloodlust. Absolutely
Yes.
agree.
Mhm. Yeah. So here I
Assuming
had
it's the Gladius that takes it out.
Yes.
right. Mhm.
Yeah. So frustrating when it's not. But your Gladius takes them down to 1 health and then someone else finishes them off. It's like, ah,
Well, this Vorst, it gets going. I mean, if you can get a bloodlust,
Yeah.
it becomes a trample almost.
Yeah, he's incredible with Persepolis. I got a gold Forced, and that's my go-to in brawls because I often play gold brawls in tier 4, and gold Persepolis and gold Forced is so good.
That magic may do me in though now.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's that's
Ah,
it.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yep, there it goes.
The Magic Blast and the Bloodlust from. So that's what I love about that Flagellon, that legendary is I can kill that card or the one behind it because I got Blast.
Yeah.
Either way, I get the Bloodlust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have that one yet. So the only legendary I got is the Dragon Gladius legendary with the three I think magic. I forget the name of it.
yeah, I don't have a legendary Gladius yet.
I want that. That
Yeah,
flash-
let's see
that
real quick.
flatulence.
And stop sharing screen is the top in red.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yes.
That's
Cool.
that. Okay.
All right, Geo, you and Choonie, what do you reckon?
Yeah. All right.
let's-
Let's give it a.
We've got
give it a
4.5
quick one.
minutes on the clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll speed up the.
Silver gladiator cards. I'm hoping I tuning. Yeah. Oh, damn. Did I put 2E? Please tell me you got that.
I did.
Is it-
Yep, got it.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm. Let's see.
So melee can attack everywhere and armored up. We got armor.
Okay.
So magic, I think, is going to play a bit of a role here then with all that armor.
It may. It may.
Or shatter. I don't have a decent shatter card. Too low levels.
Maybe there's a summoner to do that for you.
Yes, I don't have that summoner though. Yes.
You do, but you don't, if you get my drift.
Yes. It's not high. I had to send it to my rental account because it's just I pulled a gold foil from the airdrop. So I
Yes.
can't afford to buy another gold foil to level that card up. So I'm just renting it out at the moment. Wait till it
Oh,
comes
this
down a
is-
bit in price and then I'll get another one.
So weird.
It's my first airdrop card ever from the airdrops.
Oh, it is it? Okay. How many
yeah.
packs did you have?
85.
Oh, okay. Well, then you beat the odds, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But the first airdrop card I've received out of all the airdrops, and it was a gold foil. It was like,
Yeah.
yes. And Geo pulled one too, and Matt. All three of us got a gold foil.
Isn't that
Immortalis.
fun? Like I'm looking at your face right now, and it's lit up like a little kid. Like I mean, that's the intangibles? That's
Yeah.
that's worth more than money. So okay, should I share my screen then?
Actually,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
If you want, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
happy.
Maybe go to triple speed as well on this one.
Okay. All right. I'll do that. Okay.
Yeah.
So then hit the arrow.
And just pause it for a sec.
Okay.
Let's just have a look at the lineup. Oh, Captain
So I
Katie.
tried. I
We
tried
have a
to
minute
defend.
57.
I tried to defend against the magic.
Yeah.
Nah,
All
man,
right,
you
let's
you
play
could very
this.
well have this. That Katie man snipe and all
Yeah.
that. It's pretty scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Want me to
And
hit the button?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Free speed, I reckon.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Choonie.
Yeah, I can't believe you didn't go magic with the shields there, Gio.
Mm,
Although,
Yeah, it's not penetrating
wow,
that Cora.
yeah,
Yeah, once you lose your
damn.
tank.
And Cora's got Bloodlust. Gio, you're
Well,
in fine
now we'll
form
get.
tonight.
Now we might get. Let's see what
Yeah,
Captain Katie
I think Gio's got this.
probably.
Yeah,
no.
You've got to get the bloodlust though.
the psychic and healing up Cora
Oh,
there.
that's it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sweet. Yeah, I got this for sure now.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, just because you make tournaments doesn't mean you can win them.
Yeah, no, I'm happy with that. I'll take it.
Good game. GG.
Yeah, thanks, man. No,
Yeah,
that was
GG.
so good.
All right. And that's it. We got 1 minute on the clock. So just going to jump. Choonie, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thanks, dude.
And thanks for joining us out there on episode 56. We look forward to seeing you in episode 57. Please comment below every week. The commenter who generates the most engagement will receive 10% of the post rewards. Thanks for joining us on 56. I'm Bob.